Okay, I think we are live now. All right, let's continue. Okay, yeah. So in the last live stream, in the last video, we basically made our voice agent work. Right. Let me just run it again. To okay. Hello, hi,
Hello, hi there. How can I help you today?
hi. Can you repeat that, please?
Hello, hi there. How can I help you today?
Okay. Can you say it a bit softer?
Hello, hi there. How can I help you today?
Okay. Yeah, so this is the demo that I was talking about.
Great.
Now what we need to do is create our own project, integrate both the front end and back end, and in and the next thing would be to set up tool calling. So tool calling is basically functions that our LLMs call to do a specific actions. Alright, thanks for the call. Let's disconnect the call. And okay, what should we do next? I think we need to set up a new project. Um, yeah, so we're going to make a new directory called as voice agent demo. Okay. Uh, I'll create a new GitHub repo for this project. I'll keep this public so that you guys can also follow around. So we're going to create some folders. We're going to create the backend folder. We're going to create the frontend folder. I have no idea about tool calling, what we are going to use. We figure it out, we'll do the research here itself. So currently, what we have decided is that our voice agent demo is going to have a backend and we are going to have a front end. For backend, we'll use Python. For front end, we'll use a React template. Right. So first, let's go to our backend. All right. So what do we need to do? So we'll go to the backend and let's talk about our backend. What do we need? We need a file. So let's call that file app.py. Okay. And we we basically basically what we're trying to do is we want to run this agent.py code in our own project, right? So let's see how we can do that. We need a couple of these. We need to import livekit. I think if we import livekit, we get all these livekit plugins. So let's just copy this and let's paste this in. Okay. We'll also need a .env file, and we are going to make this a GitHub repository. So we'll do git init, and we create git ignore file, and mention .env so that we don't push our envs. .env.local, any of them is fine. Okay. So back in main we have app.py. So low.env.env.local. We can change this to .env, or by default it takes .env, so we don't need to specify the file name. Okay, next thing we need to do is obviously we need to create a virtual environment where this app can run. So we'll do python -env. Let's do this, and so we've created a virtual environment. Alright, source, activate. So we are in this. Now we need to install couple of things. So python, no, so for example, let's just try running this project. All right, so python okay, I need to go to the backend folder. We do the same thing again. So we do pip install, see whether this will work, or do we need to do it using Python. Yeah, okay, so we need to do pip install livekit, and anything else, login, no. Okay. Okay, let's try running it now. No, we need livekit.agents. Okay, we'll install that as well. So basically what we're doing is whatever library this Python script requires, we're just installing it. So we have already installed .env, livekit.agents. We'll have to install livekit.plugins as well for it to run. So we'll just, rather than running and then filling, we'll just do that. Then we have an assistant class, we have a constructor, and we have specified the instructions. To add tools, use the function tool decorator. Is an example that adds a simple weather tool. You can also you also have to add from livekit import function tool run context to the top of this file. That is great. I think this will come in handy when we start working with function tools. Okay. So okay, we're still running. Nice. So server equals to agent server. Prewarm job process dot user data bad equals to sleep. So basically it's setting the vad as layer dot vad. Okay, server setup function equals to prewarm. Server dot setup function. Okay, I don't understand what exactly this line is. Okay, we can ask her later. And server dot RTC session. So we are creating a web RTC session for this agent. Room name. Okay, we'll print this to see what exactly we're getting as the room name. Session equals to agent session. Okay, this is what we need. First, let's come back to We will also need plugins. Okay, we can find a version that surfaces as requirement. No version description. Okay, maybe it comes along with livekit agents. Let's see. CLI dot run map. So run maps with CLI. Okay. Livekit agent has a CLI and we're running CLI dot run app server. Okay. Then the room and characters is there. Line 15, okay. Right. But it was not allowing me to install livekit or plugins, right? We need another way. Okay. Okay. I think we'll go for OpenAI. Okay. Let's see whether this solves our problem. So we're not able to find noise cancellation from the plugins. Let's see what is the issue. Download files. I think it's basically installing a lot of plugins that needs to be installed. Okay. Okay. So like you want to load the livekit load API keys in the into. Okay. if I need to download the model files. Okay, my question is, because I'm not used to working with UV, I've worked with pip mostly. Can UV and pip be used together? That is a good question. Okay. So for some reason it. Okay. Where were we? Okay. We're not worried about deploying it to cloud right now. Setup. Okay. I don't want to do that. I want to set it up from scratch. Let's do this. Okay. So it's basically adding specific agents. We are also adding plugin and we are adding routing. Okay. Let's do that. Okay. I think we'll need to create using the UV init livekit agent, because I think it sets up package file, which I think we can probably find here. Alright. I'm also new to Python, so this is something that I'm also learning right now. Okay. So what we're gonna do? Should we restart building the backend project? rm minus rf backend, and we're just going to. Okay, we'll make a new directory for backend, and we're going to do. So this is basically just setting up a new UV project with the name, and this is where I think would keep the file structure to the minimum. So we have now a backend structure with a pyproject.toml file. We'll create a new app.py file. Oh, sorry. Okay, and yeah, next thing we need to do is we'll add this. CD backend, and now we have this. Okay. Once we are done with that, .enifs will add later. We already have our agent.p file. Let me add this. So after running this particular command, this should probably add a lot of dependencies. It has added the dependencies in the Python project.toml file. Okay. So now we have app.py. I'll create a .ini file, and let me just copy paste. Just a minute. I've added my keys in this. So all I need to do is I've created .env file. So either I can rename it as .env or I can remove this completely because .env by default searches for the .env file. Okay. Yep. So once you're done with that, in .env file we are done. A.py file I think is the same. Now the command to run the project. To use the turn detector slayer noise cancellation plugins, you first need to download the model files. Okay, how does it know download files? The part here that like is crazy is that how does it know which files to download? Okay, let's just try it and see first. Okay, yeah, makes sense. So we don't actually have an a.py, we have an app.py. Okay. Let's see what happens. Okay. I don't think so. We need to be in the virtual environment. Let me exit the virtual environment. How do we exit the virtual environment? Okay. Let me just do it the hacky way. Okay. We are in this. Okay, we're in the backend file. We were running the UV run app.py download files. I just didn't want it. I just didn't want that. Like there would be a confusion between .env and the virtual environment we created. So when we create a project using UV, it automatically takes care of creating a virtual environment. So how do okay? I think livekit.agents already has this configured. So let me search. Can I get more information about download files? No, I want to know more about download files. Download what is another says during the image build, not on first one. Please don't try to download assets required by livekit plugin. So what I can understand is basically livekit. When you install livekit agents, it automatically knows that if you pass the download files parameter, it will download the files. Download files for livekit scenario. Finish downloading files for livekit plugin scenario. Download files for livekit plugin turn detector. Okay. Finish downloading files for livekit plugin turn detector. Okay. Now what we need to do? Files. Okay, let's see whether this works. Okay, yeah, so obviously because we named our project file app.py. So things like this, these small changes actually help you understand what is happening. Because if everything works smoothly, you will never know why it is working smoothly. But when it fails, you know that it requires that particular file to be able to run. Hi, can you hear me? Hello.
Hi there. What file do you want to run? Can you give me more details about it?
No, that's it. Thank you. Thanks for the help. So we have kind of integrated. I'm just exiting this. So based on this, we have exited from the demo. So got it. So we are able to integrate this in our backend project, and that's pretty sick. So basically, what we're doing here is we're starting a session. Uh, we're starting an agent session, and we can configure all these files. So right now it's using assembly AI, but I can make it use another model. Like here it is using OpenAI GPT 4.1. I can ask it to use another model. And this voice is, I think, basically the voice model that we have chosen. So the AI voice that right now is a female, we can change this based on um, our preference, right? Turn detection multilingual model, where the turn detection is used to determine the user speaking and the agent returns. VAT context product user VAT preemptive generation true. Let me just come back. Sorry, I think I kept my audio on mute, so might have missed the audio for the last 5 minutes. Okay, yeah. So what I was saying was, we were looking through the React code, and we found that like in the React code we are using livekit server SDK. So just going through to understand what exactly is the livekit JS server SDK. So we are running a Node.js project. So it's not simply front end. Okay. Mhm. Okay, so I don't think so. I'm gonna do this. Basically, what it is doing. Okay, let us understand what exactly it's doing and where is it getting called. So, when you're getting connection details, we have server URL, room name, participant token. We have all these values. Okay. We are creating a post function, and we're calling create participation token. Create participation token is part of. Okay, we have a video grant, 80.add grant, 80.room configuration, 80.jwt. Okay, we're generating a jwt token for participation. Okay, once you get the participant token, connection details equals participation token is specified, address is specified, next response.json. Okay, this post is the endpoint. Okay, let us then see. We can actually also see the demo. So the project is in, right? All we need to do is call localhost 3000. We need to go to the network tab. Let's call the start call function. Okay, it's calling the API/connection details, and I think that is what the folder name is. API connection. It's quite complicated. So to basically connect our front end to the back end, we need to do a lot of stuff. Let's go back to our demo. Okay, let's see. Put your agent in your pocket. I like the message. Put your agent in your pocket with a custom web or mobile app. Okay. Web or mobile front end. Slack agent is ready to query performance agent. We have already tried this. So one thing we can do is move the whole starter kit project inside our front end. So, which means all of this becomes part of our front end. Is that okay? Yep. Now let's go. So how do we copy? Let's just try. So what we want to do is we want to copy everything from the 18 starter React project to our voice agent demo front end. See, if I check my front end folder, I do have all the files, but it was unable to copy all the folders. Interesting. So how do I? See, we learn something new every day. Okay, we need to use record. If someone knows a better way to move through this terminal, I would like to know. Okay, yeah. So we're getting all the files in our front end. It's trying to copy the node modules, which is going to take time because it has a lot of files. Yeah, better way would have been to like delete node modules and then copy the front end. That's fine. Yeah, it's gonna take a lot of time. What do we do till then? I think we should. Yeah, I think we should go through the code to just see. And instead of using a React or a Node.js API, so if we go in app, we have API. So if we look at this, def npm next. What are we using? Next response, right? So what is next response? it's only. Although I think like all the files. No, still been copied up. Yeah, we don't want to use that. We want to create an API.py file. Okay. Let's see, create a simple fast API using UV. Okay. Okay. Fast API we need to add. Okay. Then for fast API, give me a second. So reload. Doesn't want to create a version. Okay. Let's do that. So we'll add UV add. Import first API, fast, hello fast API with UV. And maybe, yeah, web search is not required. So what we need to do is run UV run. We're already in the backend folders. We just need to specify API and just reload. Which port will it like start the API? 8000. Should print JSON saying hello fast API with UV. Okay. Let's print online expected intent. Oh. I think okay. We have the API running. Okay. What is all this? Were we able to copy? Let's just run the front end project and see. Okay, our backend is running, which is not needed right now. But let's keep the back end. We'll go to the front end. And what was the command that we were running? Let's see. pnpm install pnp dev. pnpm install, let's just do it again, just to avoid any confusion. Okay. pnpm dev. Okay, let's let's just close. We already closed this. Let's just also close this. Yeah. So backend is running, frontend is running. If you open localhost 3000, we should see our voice agent. Let me just let it set up and then we'll try. Okay. Okay. No errors till now. Still loading, so just give a second. Okay, let's start talking to it. Are we getting errors? Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I haven't specified the .env file in the front end code. I thought it would just copy it while we were copying the files, but I guess it hasn't. Let me just create the .env file. I think it will look for the local file, so just let's create local. Let me just verify. Yep, we created .env.local. So we'll create .env.local and I'll just enter the keys. Since it's a live stream, that's why I can't show you exactly. Alright, we're back. Now we have a .env local file with the live keys, and now it is running. And let's just try starting the call. And let me just switch to my mic. Yeah, that's right. Hi, hello, can you hear me? So I think that's a bit of a much more longer time than I was expecting. Hi.
Hi there. What took longer than you expected?
Your response basically. I was expecting a much quicker response.
Thanks for letting me know. I try to be quick, but sometimes it might take a moment. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I will do my best to respond faster.
Got it. I want you to think of a famous person in your mind. Don't tell me. I'll ask you yes or no questions, and I'll try to.
No problem.
I'll try to guess which person you're thinking of. Does it sound right?
Sounds like a fun game. Yes, go ahead and ask your yes or no questions to guess the person I'm thinking of.
Is the person male?
Go ahead and ask your yes or no question.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
My first question is the person male? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Yeah. My first question is the person male?
Yes, the person is male. Keep the questions coming.
Okay. Second question is the person residing in US?
Yes, the person resides in the US. What's your next question?
Is the person alive?
No, the person is not alive. Try another question.
Is the person a scientist?
No, the person is not a scientist. Keep guessing.
Is the person related to the entertainment industry?
Yes, the person is related to the entertainment industry. Keep going.
Was the person a singer?
Yes, the person is a singer. You're getting closer.
Are you thinking of Michael Jackson?
Yes, you got it. It's Michael Jackson. Well done. Want to play another round?
No, I think we're good. Thanks. Bye.
You're welcome. Glad you enjoyed it. If you want to chat or play again anytime, just let me know. Have a great day.
I wanted to show the chat basically, but what it's doing is like it's also uh, transcribing and showing us what exactly is the input from our side and from their side. So you can clearly see sometimes if they're not able to hear, maybe the issue is that it's not able to pick your voice correctly and transcribe it correctly into text. So we are able to set up our project. One thing I'm seeing is node modules needs to be in the .kitty node file. Yep. These two files we already kept. Yeah, I don't see any other file that we need to hide currently. Yeah. Got it. So we'll just push the front end code along with the back end code. Front end using the livekit React starter project. What does it show this is to? Okay, let's check. The front end folder, and inside the front end folder, here are all these files. Okay, makes sense. It also has the ruby files. Cool. Backend does not have a ruby file. No. Alright, we can figure out the readme file and all those files later. Okay, what is our next thing? Our next thing would be that instead of using Next.js router for our, let me just open that API router.ts. And let me show you where exactly it is coming. Shouldn't it is. Let's see if livekit provides a demo to get that done. Yeah, I think we must have a bar visualizer. Makes sense for them to make these components. Okay, right now what I'm trying to figure out is how to, like, if we go into actually trying to make this in Python, how easy it is to do that. access to options. I think we can make the API, but what exactly is it trying to do? Okay, so basically, token source is nothing. Fetch UI to string, post it is main post request. This sandbox ID, okay, which is empty right now, I think. What are your JSON.stringify, room config, app config.ai, name, agents, resource.json, app config, is connection active, so it is connection active. So also I guess there's a tools was provided by livekit client. Hmm. We can skip this for now, but I would definitely want to consider it later when we are deploying our voice demo. Okay. The next thing would be to make sure that I want to make it in a way that like our let's see. Basically, what I want is right now after connecting the call, we need to initiate the conversation for the agent to reply. But what I want is if the agent is a customer support agent and I'm calling, the first question should be the first line that the agent says is hi, how can I help you, right? So let's see how we can make that happen. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Cool architecture, otherwise you include the data but in model patterns and real time exam one. I'm getting errors below sharing. Interesting. I think like you guys should definitely check this out. I will probably later, but right now let me just overflow. Oh, okay, building voice agent. Right. The implementation was having working on the same. Okay, so initially session started listening. User input received, thinking, response generated, speaking. Agent outputs a synthesis audio response. What can also have session setup in progress. Using the shutdown request and state reset. Okay, that's a nice flow. Task conversation item added rows. Okay. Copy integration. Oh, finally found it. Initiating speech. By default, the agent waits for the user input before responding. So this is what I was looking for. I want the agent to say, "Hello, how can I help you?" Right? So the agent framework automatically handles responsibility. In some cases, though, the agent might need to initiate the conversation. For example, it might greet the user at the start of the session or check in after periods of silence. So we have a property or method called session.say. To have an agent speak a predefined message, use session.say. This triggers the configured TTS to synthesize speech and play it back to the user. Okay. Where do we like specify this? You can call session with the following options: text, audio, text plus audio. Okay, there's a lot of things that can be done, but the main thing is that we have a function called session.say. So we're gonna try that. We're gonna try that in our backend. We have the app.py. Where do we exactly specify this? That is a good question. We're just gonna try it. Yeah, that's more than okay. Okay, that is bit interesting. Agent did not join the room. Okay, let me just see. Okay, we got an error. Okay, so basically it's trying to say when the session is not running. So we need to do this inside once our session is running. So we have agent, room options. How do we just do this? Do we get an event when they? Oh, my system's really slow. Okay. Ask how you can help. Okay, let's try this. I think also the session.say also we will try after this. So basically we are waiting for the session to start, and once the session is started we can do a lot of things. Right? Makes sense? Yeah. Okay, let's just wait for the front end to start. Alright. So when I click on start call, it should say something like, hi, how can I help you?
Hello there. How can I help you today?
Oh, hi. Thank you. Yeah, just
You're welcome. What?
Wait a second.
On your mind today?
Okay. Okay, let's try session.save.
Hello. How can I help you today?
Hi, thanks for asking. That's exactly what I wanted you to do. Alright, so we are able to initiate the speech from the agent side. All we need to do for the customer support agent is to change this prompt, and yeah. So the next part of the project would be to integrate tools. And before we decide, so for tools also it does give some options. So function call receipt file provide. Let's just try this. Let's just try. Function cool tool is not defined. Okay, we need to run this.
Hello. How can I help you today?
What's the temperature? What's the weather like in Gurgaon?
The weather in Gullah is sunny with a temperature of 70 degrees. Would you like to know anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you.
You're welcome. If you ever need weather updates or anything else,
Yep. So I think that concludes our livestream for today. We'll be building custom tools and giving it actual powers to do stuff. And once we're done with that, it will definitely help us a lot. Just 15 minutes. All right. Okay. Bye bye. And stream.